Good Saturday morning to you all. We got another Watchmen update. We got a lot of big items out there. We got the big question. Is the egg crisis about over? Possibly, and I got specifics for you. We got the Supreme Court shutting down a Democratic activist judge out there trying to force Trump administration to restart the USAID. We got Romania. Big crisis happening there that we need to talk about. We got mass firings of weather service people. So if you've ever been mad about their predictions about the weather, it might be coming back to get them. Karma. We got massive China tariffs. Trump is out there doubling the tariffs in just the next couple of days. We got measles happening across the United States. We got the jabs that go with that. We got conversations about that. Watchmen chiming in from all over. We got Red Cross impersonators spying on houses in Kentucky, what you need to know about that. And a chick hatcher wants to help out our community to get chickens. We got that and a whole lot more from the Watchmen community. Let's jump into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade. And these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. If you have something to share, make sure you just use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. Before we go any further, we do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people with retirement accounts to get into something safer like gold, silver, or platinum. With what's happening with the stock market out there, let's just say you might have a lot better time sleeping, knowing that you have peace of mind that your assets are safe, that you actually have physical metals as opposed to stocks and things that go up and down. If you want to find out more about that, Jonathan and his team would love to talk to you and answer your questions and see if it's a good fit for you. There'll be a link at the end of the video. Romanian presidential candidate who won the first round of the election took office. Wait, that's not what it says here. Actually, won the election, but then the election was canceled after the fact and now has been arrested. Okay, what was he arrested for? I mean, like maybe some kind of embezzlement, something crazy? Suspicion of false statements regarding campaign finance. That's all you could get him on? Really? Suspicion of false statements about accounting. Sounds familiar. Sounds like someone else they went after here in the U.S. And, okay, now, I want you to see through these words and hear what they're really saying. And initiating or establishing an organization, okay, now that's not a crime, with fascist, racist, or xenophobic, oh, they're doing that kind of stuff? No, character. What is racist character? I mean, is the organization doing racist stuff, or do you just know that they're racist because you don't like them? So he's being charged with being, according to the government, a liar and a Nazi. Tell me if you've heard that one before. So he wins the election and then he gets arrested instead for being a liar and a Nazi, for spreading misinformation and being a mean person that they don't like. Not charged with any actual specific instances of any of this, just in general. We don't like him. And this is the European Union coming after this guy. And if you're like, does he kind of sound a little bit like Trump? Yeah, he does. He's speaking sense, and the people of the country actually really like him because he's talking about putting Romania first and not giving away the entire country to other people from other places. Crazy how that works. All right, let's come back here to the United States. Supreme Court blocked a lower court's order forcing Trump, the administration, to pay out billions and billions of dollars of canceled contracts for USAID. So the court order was insane. It was like all those contracts that you canceled, you have to pay them out. If you don't pay them out, Trump, we're going to arrest you. All of the wasteful spending, all the gay Sesame Streets in the Middle East, and all the other wasteful spendings and giving billions and billions. We're talking over $50 billion worth of contracts of wasteful spending for the most part. not helping people. They've kept all the programs that are actually helping people. But when it's transgendered, Big Bird, it's like, that's not really helping. So the Supreme Court, Trump administration petitioned the Supreme Court to step in and stop it. And they did. They stepped in and said, that's insane. No, judge, go back to your booth and sit down. So thankfully, common sense has won the day. It's a rare occasion these days in the United States, but we'll take it when it happens. All right, the United States government has ordered Chevron out of Venezuela. So they were operating oil projects and starting to develop oil projects in Venezuela because the sanctions were starting to be rolled back. Well, Trump is not happy with what's going on in Venezuela, and they are not taking enough people from the United States. They are refusing flights again. And so the United States is like, well, fine, then you just can't have any oil and gas then. And that's where we are now. We'll see how quickly Venezuela folds like a paper suit. Iran has now processed enough uranium for at least 6 nuclear weapons. Something that we've said that will not ever happen. We won't let it happen. Israel has said, we won't let it happen. Well, that is the estimate now, is that they now have enough processed uranium, highly enriched uranium, for 6 bombs. Totally unrelated news there, that Iran is on high alert for potential strikes on its nuclear facilities. Can't imagine why. And the United States lawmakers, Congress members, senators are more and more speaking out very vocally. It's unusual. They don't usually do this, but they've just started making a whole bunch of speeches in open support for Iranian opposition groups. This pressure is building up on the Iranian regime to fold, or there's probably going to be direct military action by either Israel or by Israel and the United States or by a coalition. Elon Musk has asked retired air traffic controllers to consider returning to work because there is a shortage of qualified and competent air traffic controllers. We got mass firings about to take place at the NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It's an organization that impacts your everyday life, and that's why we're spending billions and billions of dollars on it. Well, there's one part that does. It's called the Weather Service, and they predict the weather, and then basically that's what all the media takes, the predictions by the National Weather Service, and then they just basically just repeat it to us. And I know you're like, wait a minute, you mean all the local news stations and stuff like that, their meteorologists don't actually look at the weather, they just repeat whatever the National Weather Service says? Yeah, that's basically what happens. They just repeat what the National Weather Service says. And which explains why they're so uniformly wrong so very often at a time. Because basically all their weather predictions come from bureaucrats. All right, Donald Trump has ordered another 10% tariff on all Chinese goods coming to the United States. And by all, I mean all. So we're going from 10% tariff. On March 4th, we're going up to 20% tariff on all Chinese goods. This is going to be painful. Everything you see at your store that comes from China is about to get another 10% more expensive. And if you haven't been shopping for a couple of weeks or about a month or so, things should be approximately 20% more expensive. So $1.25 tree is about to become $1.50 tree or $1.60 tree. I'm warning you, friends, if you have things that you need from China, cheap stuff that you buy, you might want to grab it now, quickly, before the price go up. The price of the tariffs have not fully trickled through our system. The stuff at your stores was imported probably before December. So a lot of those hard, durable goods came in before. And one of the reasons why we're having issues with applesauce is because I think it's like 80% of U.S. applesauce comes from China. So stock up on applesauce if you want it. Just know that it's probably Chinese applesauce. Giggies says, saw a report last night that egg prices will rise another 42% more by the end of the year. Sugar may become more expensive or hard to find as well. Stock up. All right, this brings us into this big conversation. The Trump administration has finally stepped forward and started moving on the egg prices. So, I believe, given the past precedent by this administration, they seem to actually get done what they try to do. So, now that they're starting to implement a plan, I suspect it's going to be actually going to have the effect that they're hoping it will. They are importing 240 million eggs by July. Now, will that be enough to really bring the price down? I don't know, but it certainly will have an impact. They're talking about bringing in 420 million eggs from Turkey by the end of this year. So that's going to definitely help, but one of the big things I see with that is if they're importing eggs from Turkey, are they going to open up the door to importing eggs from other places? And that's very possible. If that happens, and we start getting eggs from even more places, we're going to start seeing a lot more eggs on our showing up on our store shelves. So be aware that I am now saying that we may be, it's possible, at peak egg prices. Or we may be getting close to peak egg prices. Doesn't mean it's going to come back down to the way it was right away. That's not going to happen for a while. But this may start to take the edge off. We'll have to wait and see, but I would suggest not like getting super stocked up at these prices now. So I was, as early as last week, telling you to keep stocking up. My call on this, and you guys now have the information. I just gave you the information. You need to make a decision on yourself. But Trump has also authorized $1 billion in support of affected farms being impacted by the bird flu, and they are about to start changing their policies for culling. I haven't seen any large-scale cullings happen in the just last few days, and I believe the U.S. Department of Agriculture is moving to change their policies on these things. So hopefully that is useful to you guys, but becoming more self-sufficient with your own hens is something that I highly recommend. And there's going to be actually a deal, a bargain from one of the people in our community at the end of this video. Boone says, update, if you order from a hatchery, I would recommend finding several people to order together on. You get a bigger discount on bigger orders on birds. Most hatcheries have an additional small order fee, and the price per bird is higher if you just get less. Sometimes hatcheries also will have free shipping for large orders, and a lot of the hatcheries you can get sexed chickens so that you're only getting females. You'll occasionally get a male in there, but usually it's pretty good. Another good advantage of hatcheries is getting that sexing. Anonymous Watchmen, I withheld their name because they're admitting to stuff that they shouldn't. Eggs in Hardinsburg, Kentucky, over $10 a dozen. Not me. I just traded 5 jars of my garden-grown veggies, all different, for 30 eggs. Remember not to disclose your bartering online, friends, because if you don't declare that on your tax forms, the IRS can come after you. So keep your social media accounts clean on that stuff, right? Or make sure you talk in hypotheticals, all right? Terry says, the 1 pound, 93% lean Jenny O tube of ground turkey has been $2.98 for a while. And this is at an 8-state chain for about 4 to 7 months. Last week, the price jumped to over $3.88. So from $2.98 to $3.88. Turkey prices coming up. Kelly says, confirmed case of measles in Kentucky. Now, some people are saying it's happening in the Methodist communities, not Methodist, Mennonite community, because of not getting the pokies. Whatever it is, it's happening. Rhonda says, I caution people on the measles outbreak just being yet another reason to receive one of those pokes. Now remember that those pokes are older technology. They're something that's been around for quite a while. Whether you think that they're safe or not, that's just know that it's not something new. It's something that's been around. In the late 1990s, after moving from the East Coast to the Central States, my child had a serious swelling of the neck that looked like measles. The doctor said that the gland in his neck that measles attacks was swollen and prescribed an antibiotic, stating he, the doctor, had never seen measles in a child that had been poked before. The antibiotic worked. I found out later on, the day before the swelling appeared, my child was catching frogs in a pond, which I had to explain to him was not a pond, it was a sewer lagoon. Additionally, please note this from the Harvard Health Publishing Medical School. Vitamin A deficiency is associated with higher mortality in measles. Vitamin A supplementation reduces perishing in children hospitalized with measles. Make sure that you're getting enough vitamin from healthy dietary sources like sweet potatoes, spinach, carrots, cantaloupe, and pumpkin. Once again, eating healthy pays off. Full of Hope says, Ireland, outbreak of chickenpox and scarlet fever in my area. All these people moving around the world and they're bringing stuff with them, that's for sure. The Wise Dove says, update Southern California, not one egg at Costco warehouse. Went to Costco Business Center, stocker said 1.5, 2, and 5 dozen egg sets sold out in less than an hour after the store opened. And then they had the 15 dozen case now for $9 to $10 a dozen per dozen. That's not a good deal. Not able to get to Costco when the warehouse first opens and my refrigerator can't hold 15 dozen eggs. I went to grocery outlet. 1 dozen eggs there, $8.99 to $11.99, but was able to get a 5 dozen case for $37, which is about $7.40 a dozen. Once again, that is in Southern California. Sir Vance-a-Lot says, Red Cross in Kentucky, ? Knox County, Kentucky was affected by the flooding rains on the 15th of February. Today, on February 26, I had 2 Red Cross older white men pull up in my driveway without any introduction and unannounced, not even a honk. The passenger rather quickly takes pictures of my yard, mailbox, etc. When confronted, the man says that they are working with the Knox County to assess the damage in the floodplain and he would delete the pics. To be clear, I have absolutely no damage. No identification was shown, just the vests and a New York license plate, as they were escorted off the property almost immediately. We called the sheriff's office to report it for all safety measures. Knox County, Kentucky Sheriff's Office and deputy sent out that they are not aware of any Red Cross cooperation in Knox County. So friends, when you have disaster relief workers come to your home, if there's a disaster, they should always have identification. They won't show you their driver's license, but they should have disaster relief identification issued by their organization. And you should be able to take that badge number, that name, and you should be able to call, whether it's your police department, or you should call it in with their badge number and their name, and you should be able to check to see if they're legitimate. If they're working in your area legitimately, the police and others will be aware of their presence, and they'll be able to tell you, yes, this such and such organization is working in the area, they are assisting disaster relief, and they are wearing their uniforms and have badges. When people show up without any badges, that's super, super suspicious, and you should be extremely careful. I don't care what shirts they're wearing, I don't care what uniforms they seem to be wearing. Every Red Cross volunteer will have a badge. Southern Baptist Disaster Relief will have a badge. Anyone from a legitimate organization will have a badge, okay? Now, I don't know how Samaritan's Purse works that way. At least somebody on their crew will have a badge, and you can call that in to make sure that they are legitimate. New Jersey Bressie Farms. This is the deal I was talking about. I sell chicks, American Bressie, or B-R-E-S-S-E. Dual-purpose meat and egg layers. Perfect birds. They sell from New Jersey, or NJ, Bressie Farms. I got a website and on eBay. Mention you're a Watchman, and I will discount the chicks and send extras. Update. Anyway, I can help, Steve. Small potatoes only hatch about 100 a week, but I'll put the link in the description down below to their eBay. Just reach out to them. Make sure you mention that you're a Watchman if you want to support someone from this community, as well as get a little bit of a discount there too. All right, friends, appreciate all of you guys helping each other and being a part of that. I assume that you're probably gonna have a hard time getting birds from them because they're probably gonna be overwhelmed by orders from you guys. But if you're looking and you want to meet bird / egg layer at the same time, that might be a good match for you. You might need to be patient to wait for them to hatch enough chicks. But all right, friends, if you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report and the Watchmen Update out.